If you walk into a dealership today looking for a simple, affordable car, you'll find a lot of empty pavement where the entry-level inventory used to be. The Subaru Legacy, Kia Soul, and Nissan Versa exited in 2025, following the Malibu's production halt in late 2024. This isn't just a bad year for sedans, it's a mass extinction event that effectively terminates the era of the sub-$20,000 new car. Now, the standard headline you'll read in the automotive press is that these cars died because consumer tastes have shifted and Americans simply stopped buying them. But that narrative is statistically incomplete, and in key instances factually misleading. General Motors delivered 130,342 Malibus in 2023, a volume that outpaced the combined sales of the entire Cadillac sedan lineup. That is not a sales failure by any metric. It is a massive, profitable success that many luxury markets would envy. So if people are still buying these cars, why is the industry killing them? The answer lies deep inside the manufacturing logistics of the electric transition. We're witnessing a phenomenon we call the Great Automotive Eviction. These affordable cars aren't dying because you don't want them. They're dying because the factories that build them have been seized for a new purpose. The industry is currently facing an industrial real estate crisis, where the physical factory floor has become more valuable than the product being built on it. Welcome to the Bare Block Chronicles. Today, we're going to audit the industrial math that led you to decide your next car had to be an expensive crossover, and why the $20,000 daily driver was evicted to make room for an electric future that's still struggling to arrive. To fully comprehend why a vehicle generating 130,000 annual sales is cancelled, you must shift focus from the showroom floor to the assembly plant blueprint. The death of the Chevrolet Malibu serves as the definitive case study for the industry's current capacity constraints. The Malibu was manufactured at the Fairfax assembly plant in Kansas, but GM's strategic mandate to launch the next-generation Chevrolet Bolt EV on the Ultium platform created a binary conflict for floor space. Automakers are currently trapped in a messy transition phase known as industrial purgatory. They must sustain legacy internal combustion engines while simultaneously scaling up electric vehicle manufacturing, but they often don't have the square footage to do both efficiently under one roof. The Fairfax plant couldn't simply slide the new Bolt EV onto the same assembly line as the Malibu because the architectures are fundamentally incompatible. GM committed $390 million to retool Fairfax for the Bolt, a renovation that necessitated the physical demolition of the Malibu's tooling. The jigs, dies, and robotic programming dedicated to the Malibu must be scrapped to make room for the electric future. Thus, the 130,000 units of annual Malibu volume were sacrificed because the building itself was a critical asset required for the transition. This shift came with a high human cost. Approximately 1,700 workers at the Fairfax plant faced layoffs as the facility went dark for retooling. The ripple effect even forced suppliers like Yanfeng to close local plants, dismantling the entire supply chain ecosystem that supported the affordable sedan. We see this same geometric crisis at Volvo's Ridgeville plant. This factory was originally the global home for the S60 sedan, but Volvo's pivot to EVs required capacity for its new flagship, the EX90 electric SUV. With 100% tariffs on Chinese EVs and 27.5% on European autos, importing the S60 became mathematically impossible. The car is simply dead in America. Even Subaru faced this zero-sum game at its Lafayette hub. To localize production of the high-volume Forester and its upcoming hybrid variant, Subaru had to pull up its lowest yield crop. The Legacy sedan, despite a 36-year history, sold at an 8-to-1 deficit compared to the Outback. It wasn't a failure of engineering, it was a failure of geometry. beyond the physical constraints of the factory floor, a second force is driving this extinction: the entry-level profit trap. The economic reality of 2026 is that fixed manufacturing costs have risen to a level where cheap cars are mathematically insolvent. The primary driver is the suite of mandatory safety technologies. Mandated ADAS suites, including radar and cameras, add an average of $1,800 to each vehicle's unit cost. This creates a disproportionate burden on entry-level models. On a $60,000 luxury SUV, that $1,800 suite is a negligible line item. On an $18,000 budget car, it consumes over 11% of the MSRP. This fixed cost destroys profit margins. Because manufacturers cannot strip these features out due to safety regulations, their solution is to simply stop making the cheap cars altogether. This has led to a strategy we call crossover arbitrage. Automakers are actively forcing consumers to trade up by removing the bottom rung of the ladder. The Nissan Versa is the textbook example. Nissan is ending production of the $17,000 Versa and directing those buyers to the Nissan Kicks, which starts over $23,000. The cynicism of this move lies in the platform sharing. By using the Versa chassis, adding slightly more steel for a taller roof, and raising the suspension, Nissan can charge $6,000 more per unit. The manufacturing cost difference is negligible, often just a few $100s. However, the profit difference is massive. By killing the Versa, Nissan eliminates the option for the budget buyer to choose the low-margin product. The entry level hasn't disappeared. It has merely been rebranded with a 30% price hike. The manual transmission has also become a casualty of this optimization. The Versa S manual, known as the Dave Ramsey Special, was the last new car available for roughly $17,000 cash. But data reveals that fewer than 5% of Versas sold in 2024 were equipped with it. In the ruthless world of today, any complexity that does not yield high margins is eliminated. The consequences of this industrial eviction are hollowing out the demographics of new car ownership. We're witnessing the rapid elevation of the pricing floor, creating a phenomenon called credit apartheid. Historically, cars like the Kia Soul and Nissan Versa served as credit builders. They allowed subprime buyers to purchase reliable transportation with a warranty, avoiding the risk of unexpected repair bills. With those options gone, these buyers are pushed into a precarious position. They must either stretch into loans they can't afford or retreat into the used market, where interest rates are significantly higher. We are seeing the fallout now, with subprime auto loan delinquencies hitting 6.65% in late 2025, the highest rate since the 1990s. The removal of the affordable new car has broken the ladder of mobility for lower-income Americans. While the bottom of the market is being hollowed out, the top of the market is sending signals that the transition plan is faltering. Porsche is reportedly attempting an engineering nightmare to save its internal combustion heritage. The next generation 718 Boxster and Cayman were designed as electric-only vehicles. But as global EV demand cools, Porsche is frantically trying to reverse engineer the platform to accept a gas engine. This is no simple swap. The EV platform uses the battery pack as a structurally stressed member for rigidity. Removing it requires a completely new floor structure and rear bulkhead, essentially redesigning the car's skeleton to burn gas. This saga validates the idea that the industry moved too quickly to evict internal combustion. Regulatory whiplash is further complicating the picture. For years, automakers used the light truck loophole to build crossovers under lenient standards. But the new administration's December 2025 proposal reclassifies small crossovers as passenger cars, effectively closing the light truck loophole to remove market distortion. This forces small SUVs to meet stricter sedan MPG targets, but it comes too late to save the affordable sedan. For consumers navigating this hostile market, understanding the flow of dead inventory is crucial. The first opportunity lies in the rental fleet dump. The Chevrolet Malibu has been a darling of rental fleets for years, and as production ends, agencies have been hoarding the final allocation of 2025 models. Rental fleets increased vehicle purchases by 44.8% year over year in November 2025. Agencies are stocking up on the lost serviceable ICE sedans before they disappear. But rental cars have a short shelf life. Starting in late 2025, the market will see a massive flood of ex-rental Malibus enter the used car market. This supply glut is predicted to temporarily crash used Malibu prices. If you need reliable, affordable transportation, a 2025 Chevrolet Malibu bought in 2026 may represent the best value per dollar transaction left in America. It's a modern car with a healthy junkyard ecosystem for parts. Alternatively, look for zombie inventory. The Dodge Hornet has become the industry's heaviest anchor, with inventory swelling to a massive 428-day supply in late 2025. At the current sales pace, it would take dealers more than a year to sell what's on their lots. Dealers are desperate to move these units and are often willing to negotiate well below MSRP. Finally, a warning about orphan cars. Buying high-volume evictions like the Malibu or Soul is safe, but be cautious with low-volume discontinued models like the Jaguar F-Type or Alfa Romeo Giulia. As manufacturers exit those segments, the proprietary supply chain evaporates. Unobtainium status often sets in within 5 years, where a minor fender bender can total the car because parts simply do not exist. The great automotive eviction of 2025 is a structural clearing of the deck. It's a calculated multivariable decision by the industry to destroy the tools that built affordable cars. This was driven by industrial real estate needs, tariff avoidance, and the profit traps of modern safety technology. The factories have been renovated, the leases on cheap cars have been terminated, and the locks have been changed. The freedom of the open road remains, but the entry fee has risen permanently by approximately $5,000. The gatekeeper is no longer the dealer, it's the factory floor itself. You've been watching Bare Block Chronicles. If you're holding onto one of these last generation sedans, let us know in the comments whether you plan to keep it running forever or are being forced to trade up. Drive safe and watch your wallet.